Welcome, everyone. Merry Christmas. Getting ready for a happy new year. We just thought we'd get together tonight and thought it was time for a Zoom. I know people are still partying. I know Greg was talking about he's got a grandson birthday party. And I just had my youngest daughter's birthday today. So if it's not Christmas, it's birthday time or whatever for a lot of us. So, but we're super excited about I think finishing the month for sure. And I know Kelly just said that they still have some of the promos with the, what was it, two cell defender and the Immunity mushroom and the nano silver, the 199 distributor promo that they still have. So that's going to be a great one for anybody who, like I said, I think there's a lot of distributors who have not capitalized on that, and just getting that out to your team. I know people at the end of the month, they're kind of looking at what they need, and that's a great way to kind of get that out to people that don't know about it and or even purchase it yourself. So that's one thing we want to talk about. And I know Greg, if you want to chime in and talk a little bit about the Clean Start 90, because I know we had talked about how do I want to say it, a variation of that, what you had talked
Yeah,
about, that you might take a little bit different route with that. So I was going to see what you had to share with everybody about that. And then we can talk about, um, Kelly, maybe you can think about what you posted and how we talked about utilizing that, in kind of like a working Zoom and things like that. So you be thinking about that, and Greg's going to tell us about his thoughts on, a little bit of a variation of the Clean Start 90.
I appreciate that. And I just want to first and foremost say thank you to everybody on this team. This has been such a blessing this year to be working with all of you. And it's just really exciting going into the new year and really growing this thing. And to me, I get approached about different things all the time. Like I know a lot of us do. But for me, like the products, you can't beat them. And to me, I want to do something meaningful. I want to do something that brings value to people's lives, and it gives me purpose to keep going and to overcome any obstacles or do whatever I need to keep that happening. And just remember that we're blessed with something, and we need to be blessing others with what we have. Think about all the impact that it's made in all the people's lives that you've shared it with so far. And I just want to give you some encouragement to going into the new year and finishing out this month as well. To remember that and to remember the blessings that we've been able to bring to other people, and for us to focus on that and to let that be our motivation to drive us to reach out to more and more and more people. Um, I will tell you, and I know you all will be the first ones to see it because I just did it. I think Rhonda saw me working in the background a little bit while we were getting the Zoom set up, but I just posted new content to the Clean Start 90 website. There's a training video that Doug Dickey and Paul Stowers did. There's steps. There's a step-by-step process. I think a lot of you that I've talked to in the past about the steps to build the expose, present, validate, enroll, and train, that I put those on there, those steps, and gave a couple of questions that might stimulate some conversation. But those steps are laid out with, like, the exposure step. There's a link there to the Clean Start 90 score, little toxic impacts quiz that we can share with people. And that is such a conversation starter, in being able to get people to go try to do a quiz that we're not asking them for anything other than to take the quiz and get a score and just let us know what it is. And you could say, hey, I'm keeping an average. I just trying to figure out where the average people are falling, or or you can do it, where you say, hey, I'm my company's wanting me to get as many of these quizzes out. Can you help me by going and taking it? It will help you too, because you're going to get a score and understand a little bit better about how these toxins are impacting you. And so each step on that website has, like the presentation, it's got a link and it tells you, where to send them. And so I did some updates to the site. I put the new video up there for training and things like that, so that so we can plug in and start getting people to the Zooms, and getting the Zooms loaded up, because that's where the excitement comes in, right? With the more people we get on the Zooms. Now, I do have some plans to make some tweaks and adjustments. I have them laid out. I haven't done them yet, because I really want to see how this works the way they've got it set up. But here shortly, I'm going to suggest some changes in some of the content, and some of the changes is see if Paul and those guys want to incorporate these things. And if not, it's okay, because we're our own team. We can go do whatever we want to and what we think is going to work best and what we can prove will work best. So those are some of the things that I wanted to chat real quick about. But use the tools. The Defend Yourselves. Excuse me. I use it presenting to people. Lisa Turner and I, when we did a presentation at that retirement community, we just pulled the screen up and watched the videos and talked and asked questions in between and things like that. So that's all we did. Excuse me. We've got the tools, and you guys, you all know, we're in this together, and you guys can reach out if you need anything or anything we can do to help you. We're certainly here to do that. So.
Absolutely. And Kelly did a great post that I saw, and so I put it over in our team um text thread, and then she had said that she got it from Paige, but I thought that was something that we could be implementing when we did like a working Zoom. I think those were really good, because I don't know, it really helps me. I know that, like Lisa said, it's like we feel like we're not, none of us know what day it is anymore, because we're going through the Christmas, New Year's. And so we just to get back on a schedule, to have an hour that you can devote to working. And I know Kelly and I had talked about, it's always about the new people. I mean, we're looking for new people who are looking for us, right? People who are looking for answers, looking for solutions. And so I just thought that was great. And Kelly, I know you probably have some more ideas and how we could even tweak that and, do some things kind of similar to that. And then we'll set up some times if anybody wants to give me feedback on what times, in the next few days would work for you all to actually, commit to doing a working Zoom.
I would really like to try to get one in tomorrow, because we're at the end of the month, and there's a few of my team members. Linda and Ruby, you could benefit from doing this. And Jennifer was supposed to be on here. Jennifer is not far from rank advancing, and well, Lisa, she watches her stuff like a hawk, so she knows where she's at. But it's just a little bit would be a big difference in whether you get a paycheck or not this month. So I'm going to put together a little bit shorter. I did do a post, and I did take an email that Paige sent out, and then I tweaked it and then posted it. I also boosted that post, and I pinned it on my Facebook page, so it's real easy to find. And so I'm going to put together just a short little, what we could say, verbiage from that post that's not the whole thing, and I'll post it in our groups so you can start tweaking it yourselves because it needs to be you, not me. And let's just do an hour tomorrow night and um just get on there and do some, work. What do you think?
I think
Can
it's
you,
a great idea.
Whatever time. Whatever time works
could
for you
y'all
guys.
like give me some feedback? What time do y'all want to do it?
I'm gonna say 8 Eastern. Does that work? That's a little earlier for you guys or for Kelly, right? With you being central. Does that work?
It's 7 Central. Linda and Ruby, does that work tomorrow? I'm saying this, I don't even know what's on my calendar, but I'll just move it if there's something there.
Well, it works for me, 8 Eastern. That's better for me. So
Okay.
What about you, Tina? Tina.
Hi guys, I'm making dinner, so I'm making a lot of noise. I didn't want to be a distraction. Sorry, I had myself on mute. I think 8 o'clock Eastern time should be good.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see. Whoops, I don't see why not. I think that's
Okay.
a good time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Sounds good.
I hope you're making enough dinner for all of us.
I haven't gone grocery shopping in so long. I'm having to just like find stuff to make. It's like not a good dinner, but it'll be okay. Not enough for you, Greg. I'm sorry.
It's leftovers.
Well, it's fish. It's fish. Fish, rice, and maybe some broccoli and cauliflower. Something like that.
Sounds good. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we
Simple.
still have Linda and Ruby on here?
Yeah, we just couldn't get off mute. But that sounds good to us. That time works for us as well.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
I'll put together a Zoom link and I'll send out the verbiage in the group text, and then y'all come back with something of your own. Rhonda, your task is short and sweet. Okay.
Okay.
And Lisa, y'all come back with one of your own so we can kind of, look at everything and maybe because not everything works for everybody, certain people just want 2 or 3 words and others you can say a little more. So,
I think Tina, you would be really good at this. And that would be with the to do with the I don't know if we can say it, but the chemtrails, you know what I mean? Like I'm not kidding you. On my Facebook and everything, it's Instagram, everything. It seems like that's all I'm seeing anymore is to do with that.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, okay, is that a sign we really need to be telling people, because I just had an Amish guy that I signed up recently, and it's kind of funny, you guys, because he's really awake. I mean, because you think the Amish, they don't know what's going on, right? And they're just kind of
Right.
but me and him were talking for an hour yesterday, and he's like, but yet, like, they don't vaccinate, their kids and stuff, even though he had some vaccinations. He said, oh no, he's got 3 kids, they're not vaccinated. And then he was telling me all this stuff, and he goes, we were talking about the chemtrails, and he just ordered a $2.99 pack. And then I was talking to him. He wanted to make for me to help him make sure that it's okay for his wife to use it. She's breastfeeding. And then also I said, well, are you planning on, letting your kids use this? And he goes, oh, I don't think my kids don't need it. I'm like, are you kidding me? He goes, well, they're not vaccinated or whatever. And I said, yeah, but I said, you know about the chemtrails and the air and, how terrible that is. And, he just wasn't thinking about that. But it was just interesting because he did know about it. He goes, why do you think they're doing that? I said, don't get me started. But
Do you got all day? Because
but I just thought about you, Tina, with that because I thought, it's just in my face all the time everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel that it's needed more now than ever because of that.
right. which is amazing because back in the day when I was telling people about chemtrails, late in the 90s and on, since the 96, 97 on, people told me I was crazy. You're a lunatic. You're a conspiracy theorist. What's wrong with you? You know, you're a nutcase. I mean, I got called everything in the book. I'm like, don't you see the lines in the sky? They're not going away, people. And they'd be like, that's normal. Those are just contrails. Like, no, you see that plane over there? The lines are going away. That one, they're not. Like, hello, wake up, people. Yeah,
Well,
it's been a
just with
long journey, so it's
aluminum.
interesting to see that people are waking
Yeah.
up and they're talking about it now. That's good.
That's what I mean. And to have a solution and to be for them, people making the connection about aluminum and how it's, everywhere and just that too. I don't know how we could word that or phrase that, but it might be something to, because like I said, if I'm seeing it, it's in my face all the time. It's got to be in everybody else's too.
Yeah.
Well, it is mine. And it's literally this week I have seen more in the sky here than I have seen in a long time. I mean, it's just, I was at my son's house yesterday. It was so nice. We were sitting outside and it was just plane after plane after plane all day long. They were just going in every direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's just terrible. It's
And
terrible.
I don't know about you guys, but one thing that I really felt so strong this last week was that with the Clean Start 90, it's just like I feel like it was God given because everything is just so much worse. And I'm like, I just feel more than ever about how I have to have that cell defender in my pocket or in my purse or right by
Yes.
the table where I'm sitting all the time because every time I don't know. And it was, you guys would have laughed. I should have had a video of it, but we got the 3 grandkids. And so we were coming home, and they're here tonight, and we were coming home from church and I pulled out my cell defender out of my purse and I'm doing mine, giving it to Greg, going in the back seat, giving it to the kids, and they're all like little birds, like that, because they know. And then I'm pulling out my nano silver. We're doing sprays. You can't make this up, but you feel like you do have the secret weapon that you need,
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, especially also when you just hear consistently people are being diagnosed with so many different things.
Mhm.
And it's scary. I mean, it honestly is just very frightening to think about not having it and not using it.
Mhm.
Especially knowing what we know now that we didn't know a year ago, essentially.
Mhm.
And like Greg said earlier, I am so thankful. I am so thankful and so grateful for what we have here and for our team and the leadership that we have. I mean, we are just so beyond blessed, and I don't ever want to take that for granted.
And I think it kind of takes us back to the beginning. It does me, anyways, when we first talked about it, and we really just knew about the cell defender, and we were excited then, to have found something because we all knew that we needed something, but we didn't know what. And so, just kind of taking it back to the beginning, that's what we were so excited about, right? And now it's like it seems like layer upon layer it's gotten worse and worse with what we've been educated about and knowing what's really going on. And so I think like it's just so impactful to like Greg said too, like to want to share it. I mean, that was our initial thing was, oh my gosh, I found it. I think that's a great little thing. Less is more, like Kelly said. Oh my goodness, I'm so blessed to have found it. What did you find? So
Greg, you're not having to let people in, are you? If they try to get on?
No, my Zoom doesn't work that way.
No.
No, they should be able to just
Come
click,
right in.
go to rdetoxteam.com
Yeah.
and come straight in.
yeah.
Well, and remember, there's tons and tons and tons of other people that were in the same place we were before we discovered Avini that are looking for these answers. And, I look at it as we're doing them a disservice if we're not out there running our mouth, telling everybody we know about, what we got going on. Because there's a ton of people that are in the same position, they see everything that's going on, but they don't know what the solution is. They don't know how to fix it. They don't know how to cope with it, deal with it. They don't know how to help their loved ones deal with it. And so, we need to be able to, wear that badge proudly and say, hey, we do know what you can do about these things. And, come from a stance of confidence that we do have the answer. And, it's not just us thinking it. It's not some placebo effect. I mean, we've got clinical studies, that the research site, I mean, I know, there's a lot of people using the research site to get in front of doctors and stuff. And that's all factual, proven scientific things. It's not us just, a bunch of people, cheering and rah-rah-reeing and saying it works. There's no placebo effects here. The product actually does what it says it does. I mean, it's a mineral that does what it does in nature. We've just processed it, made it better for people to use, gotten it into the bloodstream so that it can go find these heavy metal toxins in our bodies and pull them out. And so, it works 100% of the time and 100% of the people. Now, does it mean people stay on it long enough to see the benefit? Well, not always, but, it does work and it does what it says it'll do. And, we've got the only product that's been tested and verified to enter the bloodstream. I mean, that's, anybody that says anything about any other zeolite to me, I'm like, well, does it enter your bloodstream? Well, I don't. Most of the time the answer is, well, I don't know. And I'm like, well, that'd be a pretty important piece of information I'd want to have if I was looking at a zeolite.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I'm confident in what we have, and I know you all are too. And don't ever feel like you have to be in a position where you're begging somebody to do this. The right ones are going to see it. And just like as you bring people onto your team, I do a temperature test with them. I like, hey, do you want to run? If you don't want to run, okay, well, I'm over here. When you're ready to do something, let me know. I'm not going to chase you. But if people want to do things, then I work with them and I do whatever I can to help them in whatever ways they need to go build a team. And so, understand that, sometimes people will get on your team and they have to see you persevere. They have to see you there 3 months later or 6 months later before they go, oh man, this thing must be real. You wouldn't be sticking with it if you didn't really believe what you were doing and, you weren't committed to what you're doing. And so sometimes people take time to come around to seeing that and, locking in and running with you. But in the meantime, just check with them and say, hey, and make sure I make sure people are plugged in. I make sure that they're getting the corporate emails and they have access to stuff. But I understand this, you cannot drag anybody across the finish line, and you have to work with people where they are. And if where they are is, I'm going to be a product user for a little while, there's no point in trying to push them into being what you want them to be. Let them be who they are and where they want to be, and go find the next new person to work with. So, when you're working with people, make them call you or make them set a time to work with you. I'm going to tell you, when I got into networking, I first didn't know what I was doing, and I chased something for over a year before I realized that there was no way. It was a waterless car wash product, and I love the product. So I'm like, well, everybody's going to love the product, right? Well, most people don't even want to wash their car. Most people don't care what their car looks like. And that was hard for me to conceive, right? I'm like, keeping my car spotless all the time. Not anymore, but I used to. And then I chased that for a little while and realized, I can't get anywhere. But I almost quit. And when I came home from work one day and I looked up on my bookshelf and there was a book there, and it was the only one I could really see and focus on. And it was a book by Mark Yarnell on your first year in network marketing. And I decided at that point that I'm going to give it one more shot, and I'm going to work with Mark. And I found Mark through a person that was advertising on the internet. And I worked with this guy and Mark, but I was like, if Mark can't teach me how to network, nobody can. So if Mark can't teach me, then I'll know this is not my calling, and I'll move on and I'll go find something else to do. Right. But I can promise you this, in working with this guy, Rich, and Mark, they never had to call me to motivate me. They never had to call me to tell me, hey, it's time to go to work. Right? So if you tell people I'm working over here, and if you want to work, let me know. Let's set up a plan. And if they don't do it, it's time to, like Mark Yarnell used to say, it's easier to give birth than it is to raise the dead. So if they're where they are, if they wake up someday and go, hey, I want to go do something, then be there for them. Mm-hmm. But if not, you need to go find the next person, because you're going to miss people who want to go do what we're doing and have the drive and are going to get it done and are going to hit the ground running. You're going to miss those people if you spend too much time trying to drag the wrong people across the finish line, because neither one of you will finish. Right?
True.
So Rich, and it's not the same Rich, Rhonda, it's a different Rich, but Rich and Mark never, ever had to call me and motivate me or tell me to go do something. I was always calling them like, okay, well, I got this. And the first time I was ever on the phone with Mark Yarnell, Mark said to me, he said, Greg, how many people can you put on the phone tomorrow night? And I said, I don't know, Mark, probably 4 or 5. He said, I want you to have 10. And we're going to do this tomorrow night at 8:00. I'm like, all right, Mark, I'm going to go see what I can do. He said, no. Greg, I want you to bring 10 people tomorrow night. I'm not asking you to try. I'm asking you to bring 10 people. Well, I did the best I could. I ended up getting 8 people on the phone in 24 hours. And all I was doing was calling them and saying, hey, I'm working with Mark Yarnell. You got to be on the phone tomorrow night, 8:00. I'm working with Mark Yarnell. You got to be on the phone tomorrow night, 8:00, and that's all I did. And I was able to get 8 people to show up. And that was the fastest. That was the most success I'd ever had, the fastest success I'd ever had, because when Mark said, hey, do it, you just went, okay, I'm going to, and he didn't take this try, I'll see what I can do stuff. He's like, no, he's like, this is what I need you to do. If you're going to play at this level, you got to run at this level. Right. And so, I tell you that because I want you to manage your time you spend with people according to how much time they put into it. If they're not putting time into it, then touch base with them periodically and say, hey, we're rocking and rolling over here, but don't dwell on them, and you cannot want something for somebody else more than they want it for themselves.
Yeah.
You cannot, and it won't work. Trust me, I've tried. I've tried to get family members that needed money, that were borrowing money off of me all the time, trying to get them to go run a business, and they don't want to. So I'm saying these things to let you know that keep looking, keep turning those rocks over, keep looking for new people, because you're going to find people just like us that are looking for these answers, that when they see them, they're going to light up and they're going to want to run with you. And you're not going to have to beg them for time. They're going to go do it. And if, not to say that you can't help them later on, but you got to let people walk when they walk. What is it, Rhonda? You say walk with the walkers?
Run with the
you that
runners.
Yeah.
Well, and stop with the people who are stopped and standing
Yeah.
still. Or, some will, some won't. So what? Someone else is waiting.
Yep.
But
So
what you said too, Greg, it's like another thing that came to my mind was a lot of companies will do bigger promotions and stuff in November, December, because November, December are, especially December, is a slower month because of all this other, partying, and it should be like people, family time and everything. But I can remember that me and this other girl from Chicago, they always did like the company Relive did a promotion, and it was a Disney. That's when Disney just got the Disney Dream for the cruise, and I'd never been on a Disney cruise, and they said, oh, it was all, so okay, whatever. So we weren't going to run for it because we were just tired, and we're like, what is Christmas? We're not going to do anything. Well, we got a late start, but I said, let's go do it. Her name was Diane. I said, Diane, let's go do it. And she goes, you think we can? I said, oh yeah, we can do this. And so we ran for it, and we knew we had to do 20,000 in volume, because that's just typically what, if you did 20,000, you could probably get on the trip. So we knew what we had to do. So it went down to the wire, and we both kind of ordered a little product at the end to make sure we were over 20,000. And but we did it. We got there. And you wouldn't believe the amount of activity we got done the last 3 days. It was crazy, So people can, the end of the month, you like, just like Diane Dowdy, she's not on tonight because she's just called me. She's going, I can't be on. I got 6 couples at the house, and we're signing this person up, and this other person, I think she's going to sign up too. And, it's kind of like Greg said, like they're doing the activity, and it will produce fruit over time if we do the activity. And I say this pointing to myself, saying I haven't been doing the activity. And so there's no one to blame but me. So I got to get back into activity mode. And, because I never expect other people to do what I'm not doing, So you have to lead by example. And to me, that's the fun of it, is when you're in the grind and you're doing it. Because, and I will tell you that when I was pushed to do like the working Zoom and everything, that's when Diane Dowdy came in off a Facebook message, okay? Because I was pushed to do something I wasn't doing, okay? So, to me, it's like, it's real. I know you guys all have those stories too, right? It's when you, what's easy to do, it's easy not to do. I mean, guilty as charged, we can all find excuses. I mean, I got probably better ones than you guys got. We all have excuses, but we can't make money. What they say, like you can't make money on those excuses ever. You have to get out of your own way. And I think the exciting thing is that with network marketing, I fire myself probably more times than anybody else because I need to be fired. I have to fire myself and start over, But what kind of a business can you do that in? And you celebrate it, you celebrate that, yeah, I really stunk. So I got to change. I can't expect Lisa or Kelly or anybody else to get out there and talk to all these new people if I'm not doing it myself. So I love the fact that we, it's a brand new day. It's going to be a brand new month very soon. But I think that I know there's so many blessings, and with the new beginnings, with this Clean Start 90, it was just an eye opener to me. I think because just doing the mega dose of the Cell Defender and how needed it is, and just since this just happened like a minute ago. I'll just say it on here that a relative of my husband's just found out that they have pancreatic cancer, and it's a mother. It's a mother of 3 kids, and so I reached out to her mom, and said something, and and to tell them that I'm praying for them. and and offered them this because I have to put my head on the pillow at night just like you guys do. Because if I didn't say something, I couldn't. I could live. Sorry, I was gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
Um, I know Greg doesn't even know I did it, but I didn't want to come off, spammy or anything, but I wanted to tell him that I'm definitely praying for them and for her. But I know she's praying for answers, you guys. And how many other people are? And what if we are the answer to someone's prayer, which is what Diane tells everybody. Rhonda was the answer to my prayer. She called me at the right time. And so I don't take that lightly, and I know you guys don't either. And it's like Greg said, we can do a lot of things in life to make a difference, that don't make a difference, but I want to do things that do make a difference. And I think it becomes like a mission of really how many people do you want to help? How many people can we help here? And I've always known that I maybe can't help that many, but I love networking and team building because that's how we will reach 1 million people. It's by locking arms and doing this together. And that's so rewarding because I don't know. I mean, to hear, like, I know you guys all have those stories too, but when somebody you've actually helped get results with this, I mean, the paychecks to the heart are overwhelming. It makes you want to build a bigger paycheck of the heart is what it does. And that's what I think, that's what I mean. Get back to the basics, get back to why we're doing this at the beginning. Because money comes and goes, but changing lives is what it's all about. And being the solution, being the answer to what other people are looking for and praying for. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Thanks, Greg, for bringing us together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
so go ahead. No,
No,
I was
you
just going to
first.
say, I was just going to say, don't, Kelly, your task and everything about getting that out. We'll get that out for tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern and then strategize on that. I think I got to sneeze again. So.
Well, I wanted to say real quick as well. When I built systems for network marketing companies, I had a training back office, and I taught people every aspect of training. And when I got it put together, I actually shared it with Mark Yarnell, and Mark went through and looked at it, and he's like, "Man, this is one of the most comprehensive trainings for this industry I've ever seen." And I say that not to brag, but to tell you that we can do Sunday evening Zooms forever. Just picking different things you want trained on, different, if you want to know, different aspects of this business. If you're struggling with doing something, you feel like, hey, this is bottlenecking my business because I'm not comfortable with this, or I don't know how to do this, or anything like that. We can do different trainings. You all just tell me what you need or what you'd like to see, or any of that kind of stuff. And Rhonda and I can, put some things together and jump on here and do trainings and throw it up on the YouTube channel. And I do want to start doing some things like that and putting some training up on the YouTube channel as well. So if you guys are struggling with things, let us know. Even if you don't want to tell us, openly in public or whatever, shoot us a text. Because I guarantee you, if you're struggling with it, there's a lot of other people that are too. And so whatever it is, let us know. And, we can put together some training around it and help you with that, and even work, one-on-one with you. I mean, that's one of the things that, I don't think that a lot of people on the team reach out to us enough Rhonda is an incredible leader. She's an incredible networker, and she can ignite some ideas for you that maybe you're not even thinking about. And so we're here to help you in whatever ways you're struggling with your business and help you figure some things out. And we're willing to do the trainings. We're willing to do one-on-ones, or if you want to do small group stuff, if you bring somebody new in. One of the things that I always did was when, and this is, when you build, it's easier to build fast than it is to build slow. And that's not just a cliche that you hear people say. One of the things that, when I was telling you earlier about what Mark did with me, is as soon as I got those 8 people on the call the next night, we set something up for 4 days later. And guess what? He wanted me to bring 10 more. He's like, if you're going to play at the high level, this is what you got to do. Right. And so when you bring somebody new in, take their temperature. If they want to do this and they want to run with you, then say, okay, well, here's what we need to do. Can you get 2 people or 1 person even? It all starts with 1. If everybody on the team brought 1 person in this month, guess what? The team would double. And everybody brought a new person in the next month, the team would double again, right? So your business can do the same thing in, bringing that. It all starts with 1, and you can branch from there. And you go bring another new one, and they bring another new one, and so you can really quickly grow your business. But as you bring people in, challenge them. Like, hey, we were just on the Clean Start 90 Zoom. The next one's in 2 days, because they're not doing them every day yet. But the next one's in 2 days, or whatever it is. It's Wednesday, or it's next Monday, or whatever the case is. You challenge them to put somebody new on that Zoom, right? And then while they're getting somebody new on the Zoom, you go get somebody new on the Zoom. And just keep teaching that. And when they bring somebody new, keep doing that, keep replicating that, challenge them to whatever you think. If they've been in networking for a while, I guarantee you they've got 1 or 2 ride or die people with them that will come to a Zoom, right? Hey, I want you to get on Zoom. What's it about? Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it afterwards, or you can tell them a little bit about it. Whatever you want to do, it depends on your relationship, right? And it depends on the situation. But the way that you build fast is you get your new people into activity. And if they don't want to get into the activity, they're not hungry enough. They don't want it enough. You got to go find the next person who's hungry for it like you are, who wants it like you do, because those are the people you're going to lock arms with. Those are the people that are going to be at conference with you. They're the ones that are going to be, engaging, and they're the people that, you're going to have fun with as we build this. And so, if somebody doesn't want to do it, just, say, hey, that's fine. I'm over here. When you're ready to do something with it, let me know, and just keep it moving and check in with them periodically. But that's how you build fast, is by engaging that new person and getting them an activity. And if they don't want to, then go get the next person on the next Zoom and do the same thing with them. But that's all I've got for tonight. Did you have anything else, Rhonda?
Nope. I think we're good. We're ready to go.
All right. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you.
All right.
Anybody else got
Thank you so
anything?
much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Bye.
all.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night.